Andrew from Steady State Fate. We have about 5 new prototypes to show, including the Bantam, which you were just listening to. It's a semi-modular synthesizer. If you want to come check out the features, you have 2 main VCOs, a modulator VCO that can also behave as a 3rd VCO, a mixer where you can switch in the waveforms, dedicated channels for VCO 1 and 2, and waveform switches. You have these 2 aux mixer inputs where you could have 2 external inputs, the modulator output, noise or symmetry, which is basically like an offset, which is interesting to drive the filter and the harmonic section of the VCA. The filter is a Polyvox style filter. It's pretty aggressive, but it could also be really nice sounding, really smooth. You have a multi-mode ADSR with 3 modes, a voltage controlled slope with 3 modes and 3 speeds. The VCA section has 3 different harmonics modes, overdrive, fold, and nuke, which is a combination between the 2. And you have a voltage controlled delay where you could route pre or post VCA. And you have a tone control where you could have bright, clean, or dark filtering on the delay. And finally, there's a built-in sample and hold. Over here, this is the latest prototype of the 0-point oscillator. This is a new method of doing analog through 0 modulation. You can do linear, exponential through 0, or a combination of both linear and exponential at the same time. One of the unique features of this type of design is you have a variable 0 point, and what that does is changes the point which the waveform is reversing, which has a really cool effect. I'll demonstrate that. You also have these 2 scanning outputs, and these scanners interpolate between all the basic waveforms. So you kind of can have like a stereo effect between two different waveforms, and those are voltage controllable. And they also go into this morph control where you can select any waveform or any in between 2 waveforms and morph between the 2, have a finer control over that. Another unique feature that I added was you can do VCO mode, LFO mode, as well as lock. And what lock does is it will lock at, say, middle C, for instance. You can tune that so that if you're using a MIDI to CV converter, it disables the coarse control and leaves the fine-tuned control intact, but allows you to be able to sequence easier without having to major tune everything. You have pulse width modulation. There's 3 kinds of pulse width modulation: edge, center, and hybrid, which is a mix between the 2. Morph is voltage controllable. 0 point is also voltage controllable. Sub output between 1 and 2 octaves below. You also get these other more complicated waveforms, which is an octave upsaw, a ripsaw, which is like a combination between a sub and a triangle, and an even ordered waveform. Just even harmonics are emphasized with that. Over here, this is the Muton. It's 8 discrete VCAs with soft mutes on each channel. And what the soft mute does is it eliminates pops and clicks when you're muting and unmuting. Each output has its own direct out, but if you don't leave anything patched in, and patch into the following output, you get a sum of all those inputs. So you can do submixes. Over here, this is clone. It's a dual 1-to-4 multiple. It's a higher fidelity mult, and it has a high drive capability. Detector X is a versatile envelope follower and voltage controlled comparator for gate extraction. You have 3 different frequency modes. A smoothing control, which helps smooth out any high frequency ripple despite the frequency mode you're in, and a gain mode for the envelope that gives you up to 27 dB of gain. The comparator has 3 different voltage ranges and a CV input, and then additionally you get a rectifier output for rectifying waveforms. That's pretty much it. We hope to have these modules out by the end of this year. We're really excited. We have a lot in line, even more than we have to show here, and we hope you like it too.